Intel stock surged 28% in single morning, pushing 70% rally for the year, heading towards its first record high since the dot-com era. The catalyst people are pointing to is Elon Musk. He committed a significant part of Tesla's AI infrastructure to Intel's next-generation chip process. And Musk said something on earnings call that every analyst skipped over. His exact words, 14A is the state of art, and in fact, not yet totally complete. Not yet totally complete? Yeah, he said that loud, and the market cheered anyway. I have seen this exact pattern before, from inside a real fab. The story it tells is not what the headlines are selling. I have worked inside the world's most advanced semiconductor fab. I know what it actually costs when a process node is immature and your team is still designing on it anyway. 5 things by the end of this video. What Intel 14A actually is, and where it sits relative to 18A. Why Tesla looks like perfect customer and is actually the most dangerous test case. Why this isn't a manufacturing contract, it's an insurance policy with real gaps. What it means for the Intel stock and TSMC stock. And the last one, a framework I called Foundry Reality Trap. Let's go. Intel's Foundry business generated $307 million in external customer revenue for all of 2025. $307 million for an entire year. The Foundry lost $13.4 billion in 2024. Intel CEO publicly stated the company might exit contract manufacturing entirely if it couldn't attract external customers for 14A. Intel shares jumped roughly 4% after initial Terafab announcement, then another 28% after Q1 earnings on April 24. I feel it's driven by AI CPU demand and the credibility boost combined. Intel CEO Lip-Bu Tan went from signaling Foundry exit to going big time into 14A after Musk's announcement. That's not a sudden confidence, that's the survival math. Because this technology looks real. But what Intel is claiming right now and what you should actually believe are two different things. Intel's roadmap runs 18A to 14A. 18A is Intel's 1.8nm class process. It entered high volume manufacturing in January 2026. The first time in years Intel ran a leading node before TSMC shipped its equivalent. 14A is the next generation, 1.4nm class, 15 to 20% more performance than 18A, with 30% better transistor density. 2 features define it. First, PowerDirect, backside power delivery. Here's the precise engineering problem it solves. When an AI chip processes a split-second autonomous driving decision, it generates extreme high current spikes in microseconds. In conventional chips, the power and data signals compete for the same metal layers. So the routing congestion increases as the chip scales, and this becomes a super big problem at advanced nodes like 2nm and higher. During those spikes, the power grid sags, voltage drops, the chips bounce out. In a car doing 70 mph, this is not a performance problem, this is a safety problem. PowerDirect builds a completely different power rails underneath the chip, a tiny vertical connection called vias that feed power directly into the transistor. So effectively, we can say the top road is for data signals and the separate underground tunnel for the power. So no competition with data, no voltage sag at pre-inference for automotive AI running 24 hours a day. This is the right innovation. Second, High-NA EUV, Intel's wildcard, a $350 million machine, the most advanced lithography tool by ASML. Intel is the first one to use it in production. TSMC just confirmed at their 2026 Technology Symposium that their upcoming nodes A13 and A12 both are targeting in 2029. Those will not use High-NA EUV. Now some analysts read that as TSMC is falling behind, but I don't think that's the case. I feel TSMC is making a deliberate economic decision. High-NA exposes roughly half the chip area per pass versus standard EUV. Every critical layer needs more exposures. More passes means lower throughput. TSMC squeezes low-NA multi-patterning for better economics at massive scale. Intel is betting high NA's density advantage outweighs the throughput cost, and the learning curve, calibration challenges, overlay issues, tool-to-tool variation that you only discover at volume. That bet might be right. But this is just a phase 1. It has not been proven at scale. Intel says, and I want to be clear, this is Intel's own assessment. They say that 14A development yields are tracking better than 18A was at comparable stage. Now every analyst is treating this as major buy signal. I want to give this pattern a name because once you see it everywhere. Yield theater. Every advanced node in last 20 years has followed the same cycle. Not most, every single one. In development, engineers run highly controlled wafer batches. They use the best equipment, optimal conditions, most experienced process engineers. So the result? These wafers look super good. The real brutal test comes when you push it to the high volume, say 20,000 or 30,000 wafers per month. Through the aging equipment, with real process variation and multiple customers demanding it simultaneously. At this stage, yield doesn't degrade smoothly. It collapses in pockets you did not model. According to Intel's own public roadmap, risk production on 14A starts around 2027. So the volume production will likely be around 28 or 29. That's when HVM crucible begins. That's when the yield theater ends. So right now, this is just a phase 1. This has not been tested at scale. Now here is where the real story flips. Tesla's AI chips are fundamentally different from NVIDIA's. We know NVIDIA builds the chips that train AI models in temperature-controlled data centers. As opposed to that, Tesla builds chips that run those models inside moving metal cars under desert heat for 10 years. PowerDirect's voltage loop solution appears to precisely match what automotive inference needs. The fit on the paper is real, but there is a part to cover. This technology solves the right problem to this technology works in cars at scale. And this path runs through 4 different risks. And I haven't seen these kind of risks discussed anywhere before. If you are into this kind of deep dive, thinking on AI chips, geopolitics, and what it means for your investments, this is exactly what I cover here. Please subscribe. It takes you a few seconds, it really helps. Risk 1. Automotive grade IP desert. Moving from TSMC's mature N3P process to Intel's 14A, it isn't just changing factories, it's moving to a completely different software ecosystem. Automotive grade IP essentially doesn't exist on 14A at all. You cannot take a data center grade interface block and put it directly into a car. It will fail automotive reliability qualification, like temperature cycling, vibration testing. Tesla's engineers aren't just migrating to immature PDK. They're being asked to custom design automotive grade interface components from scratch. That too, on a beta process that Intel's own team is still refining. I feel that's not a software problem, that's a safety critical hardware problem. That too, with aggressive deadline. Now coming to the second risk, PDK friction and what it actually costs. When designers work with immature PDK, simulations diverge from actual silicon. Timing fails in a way the model did not predict. And the fix is in patching the code. In real fab practice, it means issuing an ECO, engineering change order, and doing a metal spin, redesigning the top metal layers of the chip. On a 1.4 nanometer class node, every metal spin takes weeks. In practice, these problems don't show up cleanly. You find them halfway through a debug cycle. That's the financial risk Terafab's timelines haven't accounted for. Now up to this point, everything looks manageable. But this next one is where it starts to break. Risk 3. The packaging blind spot. For high-performance AI chips, a logic die without HBM, high bandwidth memory, is not a complete product. To run modern AI inference, you physically stack HBM memory on the logic die. The logic die sits at the base, just above the interposer. HBM stacks are alongside the logic die on the shared interposer. TSMC's CoWoS, chip on wafer on substrate. This is why NVIDIA's chips perform at the level that they do. Intel has their own packaging technologies, Foveros and EMIB. They're serious, but here's the yield math nobody is running publicly. If 14A logic yields at 80% and advanced packaging yields at 85%, final usable output in simplified model is 68%. Advanced high-NA wafers are projected to cost 25,000 US each. At 68% yield, you are discarding roughly 8,000 of silicon wafers before a single chip ships. Now, when a packaged chip fails validation, you're not debugging one system, you're debugging three simultaneously: the logic die, the HBM stack, and the interconnect. You often don't know which layer failed first. Debug time doesn't add, it multiplies. Risk 4: Tesla silicon immaturity. The double curve. Successful node transitions need two maturity curves to converge simultaneously: the process maturity curve and the customer design team maturity curve. At TSMC, customer like Apple brings near peak design maturity to every node. Tesla is simultaneously maturing both curves from the lower starting point. Every delay costs them more than it costs TSMC's anchor customer. That schedule risk isn't additive, it's multiplicative. These four risks look separate, but they're not. PDK's immaturity slows iteration. Slow iteration delays the first silicon. First silicon issues mean ECOs and metal spin. Packaging debug compounds on it. All of it stacks into a one big bottleneck: iteration speed. That's how immature nodes actually fail. Not dramatically, quietly, and expensively. Here's my view on what this deal actually is. This is analysis, not stated fact. Musk said it himself. 14A will probably be fairly mature by the time Terafab scales. Probably. That's not a production commitment, that's an option on the future state. In semiconductor industry, serious relationships begin this way. You don't commit billions because the process is ready. You commit it to be the first in line when it is. Early PDK access, co-development time with the Intel's process engineers, priority in capacity allocation. Two things are being insured against. 1. Taiwan risk. A meaningful portion of the world's advanced chip production sits on an island 100 miles from mainland China. Number 2. Regulatory risk. US exports control on AI hardware are tightening. But here's a structural risk Intel cannot solve with a press release. Intel is an IDM, an integrated device manufacturer. They design chips and they fabricate chips. TSMC spent 35 years building a culture where the external customer is the only priority. TSMC doesn't design product chips. At Intel, internal product teams have historically shaped manufacturing priorities. When a high-NA tool goes down in 2028 and capacity is tight, whose wafers get priority? Musk terafabs or Intel Xenon CPU that pay today? That is not a technology problem, that's a culture problem. And culture takes decades to rebuild. The market will price this before the data is visible. People who wait for confirmation will be late. People who move early are betting on incomplete information. And here's the uncomfortable binary. This either proves Intel hasn't genuinely turned the corner, or it proves that even Elon Musk, with all his capital, couldn't find a better domestic option. Here's the framework to take from this video: the Foundry reality trap. Every advanced node in last 20 years has followed three phases. Not most, every single one. Phase 1. Yield theater. Development data looks good. Stock surges. Intel is here right now. The rally is real. The node is not yet proven. Phase 2. The HVM crucible. High volume manufacturing hits real variation, real tool aging, real simultaneous customer pressure. This is where Intel nodes have historically broken. Phase 3. Ecosystem lock-in. The customers who survive Phase 2 don't leave. That is TSMC's mode. Not the technology alone, but the survivor. 3 things to watch. 1. Does Intel announce a second major 14A customer by the end of 2026? 2. Does Intel's packaging capability scale on the US soil? If 14A logic die still need to route to Asia for HBM integration, the sovereignty thesis has a gap. 3. Does TSMC change its High-NA roadmap? If TSMC accelerate, it means they saw something that genuinely concerned them. That's the real signal. We are back to where we started. Musk said 14A is not yet totally complete. He said it on the earnings call. Committed a significant part of Tesla's AI infrastructure to it anyway. Intel stock is near all-time high, based on Phase 1 data. The Foundry reality trap doesn't announce itself, and by the time you realize it has, you're already on the wrong side of it. I make these videos because I see a real gap between what happens inside the semiconductor industry and what most people get to see. If this video gave you any value, I would really appreciate a like and subscribe. It takes you a few seconds, but it genuinely helps me to understand what you want more of, so I can keep making it.